My boy, Darren John Williams, born the 5th of August 1987. He came in at £9 14 ounces and was admitted to the special care unit at 26 hours of age because he was floppy, not feeding, his temperature and blood glucose were dropping, only visual differences being a particular high forehead and long fingers. He gradually recovered and after 2 weeks was discharged. At 9 weeks of age, he was rushed back in with episodes where he would stop breathing and noticed that he was very floppy. Then, when following a series of tests at Great Ormond Street and Guy's Hospital to try and find a diagnosis for Darren's condition, these varied from brain damage with the brain sending messages but not connecting them up, through to a myotonic dystrophy, which was discounted. Guy's Hospital classed him as unique. Alongside these tests, Darren was regularly admitted into hospital with blue breathing episodes. Everyone was still looking for a diagnosis, including the Spastic Society known as Scope, where he was fully assessed, but there was none to be had at this time. As far as I was concerned, he was first and foremost my loving son, and was not and never have been defined by his condition. As a family, we set no goals for him, so neither he nor us were ever disappointed. However, because Darren never fitted into the category, it meant that funding and help for him was hard to come by. He attended the Nissen Centre for Children with Special Needs in Worthing before moving with his family to Cornwall, aged 5. He started at Doubletree School. Darren was very happy and doing really well at Doubletrees. In 1994, Darren's life was to change forever after sustaining a horrendous accident where Darren lost his balance and fell onto his face, which brought on his seizures and undid all the work that had gone on. It took 4 years to get him back, e.g. giggling and smiling. He's always been a very sensitive boy. From an early age, he reacted to the moods of the adults and children around him and was loving and caring to both. For instance, when a baby cried, Darren would break down and cry with the baby. He was just so sensitive, bless him. He progressed well at school, even at one point flying to America with his family to take part in an education program swimming with the dolphins. Darren still had no significant diagnosis at this stage. He was under the care of the learning disability team, which involved education, health and social services. He had a severe learning disability. He could not walk or talk and had epilepsy. All his personal needs were met with the help of others, as Darren could not feed or look after himself. He was incredibly tolerant of everything that was done to him and for him, however, and lived life with a wicked laugh and a mischievous sense of humour. Medical examinations were still continuing and genetics testing. Darren had access to respite care, which generally worked well. Darren left school at 18 and went to Truro College for a year. Respite became harder to access. At one point, he was even offered a place in an end-of-life home, totally inappropriate for Darren. After college, Darren accessed care in the community from home. He was actually the pilot of an individual users package, which provided direct payments and controlled his funding to pay the staff, activities and care. This worked well. I employed a team of carers on Darren's behalf. They worked as his personal assistants to create a full, fun-filled, personal-centred environment to achieve the best quality of life for Darren. This ensured his health and welfare was managed in his best interest. He also piloted the personal health budget in the community for 6 years, saving the Health Authority £186,000 a year. Over time, Darren Caesar's activity had increased, and although still being no specific diagnosis for his condition, there was a slow deterioration in his health. It was decided to fit him with a peg. Fluid and food could be directly fed into the stomach to enable that he was getting the right amount of daily substance. This was done in hospital whilst there Darren had peritonitis and was rushed into to have emergency surgery. He survived this and came home, and then was fitted with a Mickey. About a year later, Darren suffered a further setback when he experienced a trauma to his leg, resulting in a spiral fracture. In November 2016, Darren finally got a diagnosis. The genetics from the gold study testing came back, stating that Darren had Pura syndrome. Pura gene is a rare condition, first described in the medical literature in 2014. To date, 220 individuals, mainly children, have been reported. Darren was the oldest one in the world with the Pura syndrome. Sadly, my beautiful boy lost his life on the 10th of June 2017, aged 29. The Pure family, as it is known, is worldwide and joined hands around the world on behalf of Darren. In New York, a run was dedicated in Darren's memory. Research is going into this newly discovered genetic syndrome. After his death, parts of Darren's body was donated to the Pure Syndrome research team, as I know that he would want to help the Pure family. His story will also be used anonymously as part of a learning disability mortality programme, which is the first of its kind in Cornwall. The aim being to promote good practice in the care and treatment of people with a learning disability. Hopefully this will then go nationwide and may even change legislation. What an amazing legacy has been left by this wonderful, funny, caring and kind and loving young man who enriched the lives of people around him and will continue to do so still. For his sister and myself, what an honour and a blessing it has been to share in Darren's life that he loved so much. Truly a beautiful soul, from birth till death and beyond. My loving boy.